Hello there, friends and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for today's show, and today we are flying no other than the fearless Boeing 747 Classic. Our flight today is from Frankfurt to Palma de Mallorca, and the flight time is approximately 2 hours. We are going to be cruising at 35,000 feet today. I want to welcome Ali Brahimi. We've got Dougal is not yet here. He is going to make it, I hope. And we've got Cesar. Cesar, hello there. Welcome, my friend. J340, hello there. Oh, Dougal is here. Stan is here. Ryan, welcome, everyone. Glad to have you guys here. And I have a big announcement to make today. First of all, we have our very special friend from Morocco watching the stream tonight. So thank you for making it on the stream and for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. And it really means a lot to me that you're watching the stream. And the second big announcement is from the SimWings folks, the SimWings project, and their very generous and massive giveaway for content creators in return for their contributions and support to the SimWings project. They are giving away an Xbox console along with a copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So one lucky winner is going to win the Xbox console as well as a copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator, plus many, many vouchers, hundreds of dollars worth of vouchers. Please do note that some restrictions apply, rules and restrictions apply. To check those out, please join the Discord channel and look at the announcement page where you'll be able to see all the rules and the regulations for entering the giveaway, as SimWings is unable to fulfill the delivery of the Xbox through vouchers in all countries. So there are some restrictions there. So I'm very excited to be with you guys here on a working day in Kuwait. It is a definitely working day. Sunday is a working day. I'm sure you guys are enjoying the evening and taking time out of your last day of the weekend to join me here on the channel. So I want to thank you very much for being here and for all the support. By the way, the route that we're flying today from Frankfurt to Palma de Mallorca is one that was suggested to me in the Discord channel on the flight route suggestions. And so we are honoring the flight route today aboard this mighty Boeing 747. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our payload and wait information. And next, we are going to start the aircraft from its cold and dark state, push back, and head over to runway 25 left here at Frankfurt, depart, and we should be in our destination in 2 hours' time. So let's head over here to the iPad, and we're going to also bring up Zoom Toolkit Pro. I've already done the flight plan. And we're going to click here on Explain. Let's bring up the operational flight plan. And we are going to put this always on top so we can see what we're doing. There we go. Right there. Alrighty. We've got also with us ESB. Greetings. Thank you very much for your kind words there. I'm humbled. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stances can't help but remember my first flight on the 747, Vanif Airlines, Big Orange, they called it, yeah. I think those of you who were able to fly the 747-200 are very lucky. I wasn't so lucky, but I've flown the 747-400 for sure. All right, so we're going to go and take a look here at our fuel, and we are going to need 33,542, which is, so we need to remove a little bit of fuel. So let's remove about 50,000. There we go. 50,000 instant. 34. There we go. That's about right. 34,196. That's close enough. And we're going to go to the payload, and let's see. If we go down here and look at the passengers, 362 passengers and 1.4 tons of cargo. So let's go ahead and add our passengers. 362 passengers today to Palma de Mallorca. And let's see here if we can do this. I wish there's a way to just enter this number instead of just scrolling it. But I'll tell you guys, the more you fly this aircraft, the more appreciation you get for the in-depth simulation of the aircraft systems. And I was actually told the Fearless is a very good developer. He's an excellent developer, and he's built this aircraft based on notes from a real flight engineer. And so what you see here is something that depicts what is in the real 74200 to a large extent. All right, 1.4, 1.5 is fine. Zero fuel, as you can see, is 214.6. That's about there. 2.4.6, that's close enough. And we're going to do an instant board and load. Perfect. We're going to need this later, so we're going to just remove it now, and we are going to head over to the flight engineer station, and we're going to begin by going down here, and we're going to go to the ground, and we're going to set the chocks. The reason we don't hear the guy is we need the battery on. Battery on, and standby power to normal.
Chocks are on.
All right, chocks are on. Perfect. And we're going to go ahead and connect the ground power unit.
Cockpit to ground. Connect ground power.
All right. And if we head over here to the auxiliary power panel, we can see external power
Ground
is
power
now
connected.
available. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to go ahead and turn this to override mode. And before we forget, we're going to turn on the humidifier on. I am going to use all the available checklists through the checklister today for our Drashal. How are you there, my friend? Danny, hello. Stuart Cooper, hello. Omari, glad you can make it. And thank you for all the support. All right, so the next thing we are going to do, we are pretty much done here with the engineer station for the time being. Let's take a look here. Everything looks good here. Everything looks good there. All is good. Let's head over to the overhead panel. And we're going to do the regular Boeing flow from left to right, top to bottom. Everything is good here. Yaw dampers are good. Auto brake. We're going to go ahead and arm the anti-skid. And we're going to arm body steering. We're going to head over to this side here and set the adheres on align mode, align, and align. And we're just going to wait now for the inertial navigation system to align, and then we're going to switch this to nav. Emergency lights are armed now, and
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance and the cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information.
all right, there's your passenger announcement. Seatbelt non-smoking signs are turned on. Cockpit door is locked, and we're going to go ahead and turn on the radios. Let's go ahead and test the stall warning. We're going to test the Mach warning test. Over rotation, all checks good. And we are going to turn on the window heat. Navigation lights can go on, and we're going to turn on the logo lights as well. And we can now head over to the glare shield here. And the, let's see here. Let's bring up the Sim Toolkit Pro real quick and take a look at our plan. We're going to scroll back up. Let's see, Drashal. Lipa has an amazing approach. Love flying from LEBL to Lipa in the A320. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gotta love that announcement. Yeah, Drishal, they've done everything. They've got just wait until you hear the checklist. If you like that, you're gonna really like the checklist as well. All right, so we are here. The final cruise altitude is 37, so not 35 as I said. So we're gonna go ahead and set this to 37,000 feet. 37,000 feet is set, and runway heading is 250. By the way, if you're normally the runway heading is the actual runway number. So runway 25, if you add a 0 to that, that would be the runway heading. And this is true for almost all airports in the world, with very few exceptions. So if you don't know what the runway heading is, just follow the runway number, just add a 0 to that, and that would give you the actual runway heading. So runway heading, we're flying out of runway 25 left, so 250 there. We'll worry about the speeds and everything else later. We'll leave that now. Let's go to the FMC. Right, so we're going to go to the route menu, company routes. And this is our company route today, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot to Lima Echo Papa Alpha. And we're going to select that. And we're going to bring up Sim Toolkit Pro and look at our departure. So we are going to be departing today runway 25 left through the Anik 9er Foxtrot departure. So we're going to go to departure and Anik 9er Foxtrot. That's the one there. And then we're going to be departing runway 25 left and execute that. Let's make sure that the Anik 9F, there, now it's selected. For some reason, this just does funny things sometimes. But anyway, we've got this now here. And we are going to go back to select our arrival. And the arrival today into Palma de Mallorca is the Luni K3 Mike. 3 Mike, that's the one, Luni 3 Mike. And we are going to be doing an ILS approach, runway 06 left, through the Charlie Delta Papa VOR, and this is our transition, and we're going to select that and execute. Now we should have a nice plan. Let's make sure there are no discontinuities in our flight plan, and it looks like there is a disco, so we are going to delete it. So first let's delete that one, then we're going to select Lunik and put it there and execute, and voila, now we've got the flight plan with no discontinuities. And this is our VOR station and the transition into runway 06 left. Perfect. All right, done and dusted. Now we are ready to, no, that's okay, that's idle. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to head over to the engineer station once more. By the way, let's make sure everything here is looking good. We are going to make sure that this is on standby and the weather is on standby as well. We'll worry about that later. The EPR settings, we'll worry about that in a minute. All right, let's head over to, what am I doing? Let's head over to the engineer station. We're going to head now over to the auxiliary power, and actually we're going to go to the APU panel. And we're going to start the APU, and we're just going to wait for the APU door to open, and then start the bleed air, turn off our external power, and let's make sure our parking brake is set, which it is. All right, and now we can start the APU. As you can see now, the RPM and EGT are both rising. Gotta love the wear detail on the flight instrument. Looks amazingly realistic. Absolutely, Stan. Yeah, they've done a really good job with modeling this aircraft inside and out. And by the way, just remember that this is an early beta, so this aircraft isn't finished yet. So there is definitely a lot of work that will go into it. So let us now turn on the bleed air, and now we can turn on the APU. So now the aircraft is powered by the auxiliary power unit, and we can now dismiss the ground power unit. Let's go down here and ask for...
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
All right, ground power is now being disconnected. Perfect. All right, now before I forget,
Ground power
I'm going to go ahead
disconnected.
and turn on the recirc fans. And Casper fan on. You can hear the nice sounds as you turn things on in this aircraft. Really, really cool. And we're going to turn on the packs. And the pack bleed air valves are now open. All looks good. Perfect. Alrighty. Now we are going to bring up the checklister. Let me just put this view here, which is a much better view. Checklister, and we're going to go the before start for the pilot. And we're going to start and follow this. Now, there are a few things I still haven't figured out, but let's go ahead and do it.
Before start checklist, please.
Gear lever and light.
Down and check.
Brakes.
Parked.
Start levers.
Off.
Radios.
On and check.
Flight control hydraulic power.
On.
INS.
Check and nav.
Compasses.
Slaved.
Window heat.
On.
Seat belts and no smoking.
On.
Emergency lights.
Yeah, Stan, I agree. That is really sweet.
Armed.
Absolutely
Exterior lights.
delightful to, hear the exterior lights. What is he complaining about? What does he want? Ah, okay. I know what's going on.
Check.
Beacon.
Flight instruments.
Check.
Altimeters and clocks.
All right, there's one thing we need to
1,
do.
0, 1, 3. Set and cross check.
We need to set
Radio
this
INS
to
switches.
37,000.
Radio.
Radar and train
barrel
spotter.
reference.
Standby.
Indicator lights.
Check.
110.
Engine and wing anti-ice.
Off.
Stall warning.
Check.
Mach airspeed warning.
Check.
Auto brakes.
Check and off.
Body gear steering.
Arm.
Anti-skid.
On.
Autopilot and flight director.
Check and off.
Takeoff warning.
Damn.
Auto flight enunciators.
Drashal, is the
GPWS?
checklister a separate plug-in or part
Check.
of the aircraft? No, it
Instrument
is,
warning.
Drashal, it is part of the
Hold on.
aircraft. Instrument warning. All right, let's just check that.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Instrument source selectors.
Normal.
Reserve brake valve.
Closed.
Spoilers.
Down.
Static selectors.
Normal.
Oxygen mask and regulator.
Check and emergency off.
Brake pressure. Stabilizer trim.
Check and on.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Check.
Check was completed.
All right, perfect. Now we can go to the next list, and this is the before start for the first officer, or the, beg your pardon, flight engineer. So let's go ahead and start that as well. Start.
Battery. On. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 3,4,1,6,2 kilograms. Fuel panel. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls.
Really
and
detailed
set.
checklist, isn't it?
Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. This.
All right, APR computer is right down here. So let's take a look. All right, so
Go around.
go around.
Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check.
They are definitely
Full
different
oxygen.
accents. Yeah, it just
On.
really adds to the
Oxygen
immersion.
mask and regulator.
And ADPs, that's
Check
the
and
last one.
emergency off. ADPs off. Checklist completed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for engine start, pushback and engine start. So we are going to head over back here now to the... Before we do that, though, what we need to do is we need to come here and do the performance calculation. We're going to read from the load sheet. And this is our takeoff weight, takeoff center of gravity, V1, 123, V rotate, 131, V2 is 148. We've got our flap setting here. We're going to do flaps 10 for our departure today. We're going to click here to set the speed bugs, and as you can see, it automatically sets all the speed bugs for you right here. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter to 1010 right here, and right down here as well. 1010 is set. Perfect. All right, now we are going to call the pushback truck. Better pushback, start
Ground
push.
to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right, and we're just going to turn here, and we're going to take, here, let's do that. That works for me.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let me just show you guys real quick. This is the taxiway we're going to take, and this is runway 25 left right there. So we're going to push back out of our position. We're going to taxi down the taxiway right here, and then make the turn this way, and then we're going to be at runway 25 left for departure. Simple enough? Absolutely. Alrighty. We should, by the way, arrive into Palma de Mallorca around dusk, so it should make for an interesting approach. We have to take care of our altitude as we approach Palma de Mallorca. And let's see, Matthew, hello there, my friend.
Okay.
What do you
All
prefer,
doors and hatches are closed.
MSFS
Ready
or
to connect.
X-Plane 11?
Set. Parking brake.
All right, let's release the parking brake. First, let's go ahead and click on number 2. Where is it? Right here.
Cabin crew, arm slides.
All right.
Parking brake released.
All doors are closed and armed.
All righty. Pushback truck isn't doing anything at this point.
Parking brake set. Parking brake released.
Let's see. Ah, you know why? Because the chocks are still there. Ground, remove
Cockpit to
chocks.
ground. Remove the chocks.
There we go.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Chocks removed.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Perfecto. Okay. Now we're ready to go, folks. And does it work with other aircraft? So if you're referring to the sounds are indigenous to the aircraft. There is no any additional plugins. How does this compare to the PMDG 747? I know they are different variants. They are definitely different variants, very different aircraft, really. So the comparison isn't really a fair comparison. But on the other question, which one do I prefer, X-Plane 11 or Microsoft Flight Simulator? I prefer X-Plane 11 due to the high fidelity aircraft available there in X-Plane 11. Start valve.
Ready to start the engines.
All right, so we are ready to start
Ready
our
for engine
engines.
start.
And the first officer confirms that we are ready for engine start. We're going to start with the sequence according to the notes I received from the flight engineer is 4, 3, 2, 1. So we are going to
Starting
start
engine 4.
with
Start
engine
valve
number 4. Start valve is open and 20% of N2. We will introduce fuel into the aircraft and then we should hear the engine spooling. Right, we can observe, by the way, N2 right here. You can see N2 rising at about 20%.
and 2.
All right, so the first officer announces 20, or the flight engineer announces 20% of N2,
Fuel on.
and then we turn the fuel. Now, the fuel, according to the
Light up.
operating manual, can be either on rich or idle. Both work. And now we can see that the engine, right here, you can see the engine is now spooling.
Starter off. Stabilized.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
All right, so let's first set the parking
Parking
brake.
brake set.
And
Disconnecting
once
tow.
the
Standby.
flight engineer announces the engine is stable, we're we can go and start the next engine now. So now we're going to start engine
Starting
number
engine
3.
3.
Starter valve open.
Valve is open, and we are ready to introduce fuel. Will you make a full review of the nearly released JAR A340? The JAR
20%
A340
and 2.
has been released earlier today.
Fuel on.
Fuel on. And
Light up.
I am going to review the aircraft, but I will tell you guys, I'm a little bit disappointed with the JAR A340.
Starter off.
But I will save the reason why I'm disappointed for the actual
Engine
review
stabilized.
video. All right, so engine is stabilized. Number 3, we're going to start with the engine number 2.
Starting engine 2.
Starter valve open.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. I'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be back in Frankfurt very soon. Let's wait for 20% and 2.
20% and 2.
Perfect. And there we go.
Fuel on. Light up.
And of course, we're going to wait for the engine to stabilize before we turn engine
Starter
number
off.
1.
Engine stabilized.
Perfect. Engine number
Starting
1.
engine 1.
Starter valve open.
Yeah, the A340 has definitely been released, folks. It is available on the X-Plane org for $59.95.
%20 and 2.
Right, 20% N2 and fuel.
Fuel on.
I love the sounds on this aircraft.
Light
Just
up.
really, everything has been well thought of to, create a very authentic and highly immersive experience.
Starter off.
We're just going to wait now for engine number 1 to stabilize.
Engine stabilized.
And the engine's now stabilized. Let's take a look at the outside. Ooh, looks like there's a bit of rain here. All right, so start valve now can be closed. It's in the off position. Everything looks good here. Everything looks good here. We're going to turn on the probe heat. And let's see here. Runway turn-off lights will be turned on. And now there is a bunch of things we need to do in the... look at that. Yeah, we need the engineer station. All right, so first thing, we are going to head over here and we're going to trip those for our gens. So we no longer need now the APU. So the APU now can be turned off. So stop the APU, turn off the APU bleed, and galley power turned on, and galley chillers are turned on. All looks good here, and for takeoff, we're going to turn off the packs for takeoff. So we're going to turn this off, and we are going to turn on the hydraulic pumps. Hydraulics are good. And everything else looks good to me over here. All right, so we're ready to taxi. So we are going to go back to the checklister, and we're going to do the after start checklist. Start.
After start checklist.
Also, Tolos will
Flight
release
recorder.
by the end of this year their
On.
A340
Start switch.
is in jar design
Beacon
a
lights.
bit middle of the
On.
road.
Brake
Though,
pressure.
yes, I agree. I remember I was so
Start
excited
levers.
for the A330.
Idle D10.
And they claimed it to be one of the
Engine
most
and the eyes.
realistic, which
Off.
it is anything but. I agree with
Electrical
that.
panel. Wait.
All right, electrical panel is checked.
Back valves. This.
All right, so we need to actually open.
Open.
There we go.
Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
All right, after start checklist is complete, and we're ready to go for the taxi checklist. Before we do so, let's go ahead and come down here. Everything looks good here. All right, so here we are going to set this to EPR, and the speeds are set. Let's put this on TARA, and we're going to leave this on go around. We are going to put this on normal. System 1 is perfectly fine, and we are going to turn on the weather system as well. And let's see here. What else do we need to do? Bugs are set, everything's set. All right, let's go ahead and go. We're going to set our flaps to flaps 10.
Flaps 5. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10 is set, and now we can bring up the checklist. Stabilizer trim needs to be in the green. 4.5 is a good number. Probe heat is on, flight controls. All right, let's do the flight control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, and flight control check is complete. Yaw dampers checked. Seat belts, APU is off, fuel heat is off, totalizer gross weight set, engineered pilot panels are checked. After cargo heat is normal. Seat belt shoulder harness is checked. All right, let's start it.
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data. EPR and airspeed bugs.
Takeoff data and ASV, they are set. Why is he complaining? All right, let's go here. This is all set. This is set. This is set. Speed is set here. I'm not sure what's wrong with this guy, but everything seems to be set here. Let's see. Well, let's just check that.
Stabilizer trim.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Switch to INUS.
Yaw dampers.
INUS.
Check.
INUS.
Seat belts and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo.
Sebastian, do you know if JAR or
Seatbelt
Tolis
and
are
shoulder
working
harness.
on a
Check.
340
Taxi checklist completed.
on an A340 300? Well, I know the A340 500 is the one that has been released by JAR Design. It is available, by the way, on the X-Plane.org as of right now for $59.95. I've downloaded the aircraft, and I've taken a look around. I did a quick tour of the aircraft before the stream, as a matter of fact. And yeah, I'll reserve my full comments on do a full and fair review. Okay, so we are ready to go now. So this is the before takeoff. Let's go ahead and taxi to the runway. Parking brake is released. Where's the burn? There you
Parking
go.
brake released.
All right. And then we've got no warning lights. Everything looks good, and we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn on the flight directors. No, that's not the flight director. Right there. Flight director is there. And we can actually do all of that once we are airborne. All right, so all is good. Parking brake released. Let's give it some power, and let's taxi to the runway. Those engine sounds are just amazing.
Approaching 25 center.
Really an amazing aircraft. The Fearless Boeing 747 Classic. When does this get released? Unfortunately, I do not have a release date, and I do not have any price information as of yet. My hunch is, though, that it's going to be released in a couple of months' time. But again, I don't know. I have absolutely no clue when it's going to be released. Let's bring up some lights here. That's better. Man, just look at those wings. I lost track of where I'm going. Ah, there we go. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do the before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check. Cabin crew, take your seats.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
Hold on.
All right, let me set the parking brake. And we're going to head over to the overhead panel.
Flight start.
Cabin ready.
Body gear steering.
Damn. Parking brake set.
All right, body gear steering
Disarm.
is right here.
Pack valves. This.
All right, let's close the packs.
Closed. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves. Check. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Perfect. So we are ready to go now. Parking brake
brake
released. And we are, ladies and gentlemen, at runway 25 left, ready for departure.
Approaching 25 left.
The plane is absolutely amazing, my friend. AvGeek, how are you doing, my friend? Can we get some wing views? Absolutely. Let's see. There you go. We'll do some more of that once we are airborne. All right, we are ready to go now. All right, so, all right, let's go ahead and change the speed here to 250 knots. The allowed speed under 10,000 feet. Everything else looks good. We're going to bring the power to about 60%, and then we're going to engage the auto throttle. All right, let's go. There we go. Listen to engine sounds.
Thrust set.
Check.
80 knots. V1. Rotate.
Rotate. Woohoo! Gotta love the Boeing 747.
Gears up.
All right, we're gonna gain some speed here. And we are going to now retract flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
All right, and at this point, we can engage the autopilot. We're going to select Alt Select. Vertical speed.
Altimeter setting.
Let's reduce our vertical speed and all right, let's set this to climb power now. Climb power is set. And we can decrease our rate of descent just a little bit until we gain some speed, and then we're going to switch to IAS mode. And if we look at our flight plan here, you can see the aircraft is turning. There we go. So in accordance with our SID out of Frankfurt. And we're just going to let the aircraft accelerate to about 250 knots or so. We're actually almost above 10,000 feet. By the way, did we turn on? I don't think we turned on the lights. There we go. That's my bad. And it's almost the time to turn them off. All right, so now we are at 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and increase our speed a little bit to, what does it say here? 300 knots.
10,000.
300 knots. Actually, flaps should go up all the way.
Flaps up.
And we're just going to wait for this to reach about 300 now. And then we're going to switch to speed. And then we're going to perform the after takeoff checklist. Almost there. All right, there we go. And we're going to switch to IAS mode now. And the aircraft should now, as you can see, it's climbing at a faster rate now to maintain 300 knots. And we can actually switch to speed here. No, we'll just leave that for now. So if this is on IAS and if we click on speed here, I believe that it would disconnect. Yeah, see, it would disconnect. So we need to go back to VS. If you go to IAS, then it would disconnect the auto throttle. So we are going to leave this on EPR, and we're going to leave this on AS and engage the auto throttle. That should take us back to 300. And we should continue our climb to maintain 300 knots. We'll leave it on IAS until we are at our cruise altitude. We might need to adjust the rate of climb a little bit to maintain the speed, but everything is good. All right, so let's go ahead and come down here. Checklist. After takeoff, start.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever.
Right, it's complaining about the gear lever, which needs to be in the off position.
Off. Landing and logo lights.
Hold on.
Off. Ignition.
Check.
Seat belts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Pack valves. Open. Fuel heat. Let's see.
Fuel heat is right here, and those need to be auto.
Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
All right. So we are all done now, and all we need to do now is we need to cruise. We need to climb to our final cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. Altimeter setting 29902 should be set now. 29902 over here and over here. 29902. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and click on Mac. VS. Actually, you don't need this here. Fine, VS is fine. What's going on there? Alright, looks like all is good now. And we are now climbing to final cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. All is looking good. speed is now set there. I think it's slightly decreasing. So let's see here. You know what? Let's take this back to EPR. Okay. And we're going to go to IAS mode. And we're just going to leave it there until we reach 37,000 feet. Perfect. All right, let's see here. Drashal, let's see. We have a new subscriber, N4CHO. Welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel, my friend. And now we should keep the current pitch. We should climb to our speed to 300 knots. And all is looking good at the moment, folks. Some wing views there for you guys. Just look at that. I think the wing lights need to be turned off. Let's turn those off. Wing lights, there, off. The mighty Boeing 747, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't she special? Right, everything's looking good. Our speed is good. Everything just is looking just fine right now. And we continue our climb to 37,000 feet. Just as a reminder, folks, SimWings is a community created by flight simmers for flight simmers, and they exist to support those who are less fortunate around the world and are unable to afford to enjoy the hobby of flight simulation. And this is a beautiful cause for the SimWings community and the project to exist. And they have handed over 4 systems so far, and now they're running this giveaway to all the content creators, including V1 Simulations, by the way, who has contributed a great deal to the community. And so this is their way of saying thank you to the flight sim community, saying thank you for the content creators who have endorsed and supported the SimWings project, and they're giving out to you guys an Xbox console with a free copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I am going to run the giveaway in a group flight that I'm going to announce very soon. So this is just, please go ahead and join my Discord channel and read all the information that is available for you there. For the rules and regulations of the giveaway, as it is not available in all countries. So yeah, please do read the announcement for the full details. But just what a gracious giveaway by Simwings to offer an Xbox console, a copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and a number of vouchers for you guys to purchase your favorite add-ons at your favorite store. Coming very soon. I will be probably running the giveaway in a week's time, and it's going to be run during the group flight, a group flight that I'm planning, and we are probably going to do a tour in one of the African countries. That's at least my plan. I've seen a lot of group flights in the US, in Europe, but I haven't seen much in Africa, and I think the African continent is worth a visit in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so that's what we are going to do, hopefully in the days to come. An announcement will be made, and it will be open for everyone to join this group flight. Hopefully we'll have fun. We did a glimpse of that in the last live stream, Microsoft Flight Simulator stream that I've done. I think it was a lot of fun having all of you guys, and I think we did it in Brazil somewhere, and we flew as a group, and I know AppGeek was there, and it was a lot of fun just flying around. Which sim with the group flight beyond? Drashal is going to be Microsoft Flight Simulator. As it is, it just coincides with the giveaway. It's an Xbox console for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So definitely it's going to be a Microsoft Flight Simulator group flight. It will be announced, and I will be providing you with all the details. We'll have a VFR map. I will create a flight plan, send it to you guys beforehand. I'll post everything in both my Discord channel and a link to all the artifacts on a Dropbox link. And of course, I will provide you guys with all of that through the community tab on the channel. We have a new subscriber for the Q8 Pilot, Ramon Show. Welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel, my friend, and thank you for your support. Right, we're approaching 36 for 37. We're still looking good. And here is a look at the external view. By the way, we can play with the mouse here and X camera, and you can see a few different shots of the aircraft. Okay, that's what I normally do for the cinematics. There you have it. I love the nose of the Boeing 747. Brilliant. J340, what would be a good group flight? Iceland, a volcano tour? Well, I'll tell you guys, you can put all your suggestions in the, alright, so we're approaching the final cruise altitude of 37,000 feet, as you can see. So as soon as this hits 37, we are going to flip to alt hold. So you see this now has turned off, and we're just going to wait for this to reach exactly 37,000 feet. And now Oh, look at that. An aircraft just passing by. All right, so now we can go to alt hold. And we can go down here and hit on max speed. And we're done. So now it's going to climb to the selected Mach speed. And we are going to maintain 37,000 feet. Alt hold is turned on. It's doing some funny stuff there. There we go. Why is the speed decreasing? Ah, we need to put this on cruise. I'm wondering why the speed is decreasing. Let's see, everything's good here, everything's good there. I wonder why. There we go. It's kind of coming back up now. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Let's see here. What is that? Chat is in English, my friend. It's working well. Many since the update. Myself included. Yes, absolutely. Definitely, Microsoft Flight Simulator, guys, has come a long way in the last update, and I am very happy to report that there has been a significant performance improvement in Microsoft Flight Simulator in the latest update. So, yeah, definitely an enjoyable sim. I did a very short flight yesterday with the Airbus A320. From Newcastle to East Midlands Airport, and it was absolutely a beautiful flight. It was raining in Newcastle. I took off around dusk. It was about I don't know. It was I think 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. or so, but it was just absolutely beautiful flight. The representation of the atmospheric condition in Microsoft Flight Simulator is just out of this world. It looks phenomenal, and I thoroughly enjoyed the flight. Did an ILS approach, no problems. It was really an enjoyable flight, and the visuals are stunning. There are no stutters, no jitters. Performance is outstanding. I don't know if you guys have seen the latest video teaser from Laminar Research on the representation of the forests and seasons in the next gen of X-Plane. Now, my hunch is, if you've seen the footage, they had two screens, one on the left showing X-Plane and on the right saying next gen, which to me is an indication that there is going to be a new version that is probably X-Plane 12 or X-Plane Next Generation or X-Plane NG, but definitely it's not going to be a simple upgrade of X-Plane 11. So there is probably going to be a brand new sim by Laminar Research surfacing very soon, it looks like. Probably my hunch would be the end of the year. So it looks like they're working really hard, and they're kind of showing a little bit of what they're kind of doing, in the background. And by the way, guys, I have a lot of respect for Laminar Research, for their tenacity, their commitment, and they're a very small team. I mean, if you've seen their streams, they're a handful of employees, and they are driven by passion and the love of flying, including, the founder of X-Plane. So I definitely have a lot of respect for these guys for what they're trying to do, and being a very small team with such capability is something to admire, honestly. And of course, when you see the the high fidelity add-ons that come out, such as the recently released INI builds, A310, the FlyJSim fleet of aircraft, and very soon the Dash 8 Q400, which I'm absolutely dying to fly the aircraft. And really, we have something to compare that aircraft to, which is the Majestic Dash 8, which to date remains to be the absolute best simulation of a Q400 in a flight sim. So definitely a lot to Duncan, hello there, my friend, and welcome. I am doing absolutely fabulous today. I hope you are doing exactly the same. Yeah, X-Plane definitely needs to keep up. It will keep up, and it will remain, and it will bring hours of enjoyment to our hobby for sure, and more high fidelity to come our way. Tolus, the A340, like I said, FlyJSim with the Q400. There is also the Jar Design A340 just released today. It's available again for purchase. X-Plane is good and does need to be, it definitely needs to keep going. Absolutely. INI builds are incredible quality. Dougal, I second that for sure. They are just absolutely, they're, one of the best software companies I have witnessed in this genre, flight simulation. I put them at par with PMDG, if you ask me. Their attention to detail, quality, finesse, support, even the after-sale support, they're just a fine bunch of folks. The same goes for the Tolus guys, FlyJSim, really some really fine folks and fine development companies, and very skilled and highly talented individuals in working on X-Plane 11. So when you see the quality of the add-ons coming out of these companies, and you see where X-Plane is going, kind of, we've seen the lights, we've seen the forest, trees, and seasons. I mean, there is definitely a bright future for X-Plane. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator is, it looks stunning, and it does. It does look absolutely stunning. And I think X-Plane has got a long way to go in order to look half as good as Microsoft Flight Simulator. Don't get me wrong there. But the fidelity of the aircraft in X-Plane and the flight model, the flight dynamics are simply outstanding. Simply outstanding. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with our speed there. It keeps going, up and down, so not sure what's going on there. There's some turbulence for you there. Alrighty, speed is going back up. Looks like it was just a glitch there. Yeah, it's going to be probably a nice approach into Palma de Mallorca. You can see the sun is setting now. All right, let's bring up our flight plan here. Just take a look at where we are. And yeah. All right, so if we bring up SimToolkit Pro, right here, we're still quite a way, about 1 hour remaining to our destination. So 11:14 local time is the time we're looking to arrive into our destination. Where are we? Auto follow me. There we go. God, I love this tool. SimToolkit Pro. Just really outstanding flight planning tool. It's just everything. It's got integration with Navigraph, with you know, with SimBrief, with well, SimBrief is Navigraph now, but it's got a lot of very nice features there. Streamer tools, flight tools, you know, just flight planning capability is outstanding, and VFR planning is now in beta, and it's actually pretty good. So I still prefer SkyVector for VFR planning, but this one is actually still pretty good. The fleet, again, very nice feature there. You know, you just add the registration number, it will pop up the aircraft for you. So yeah, good stuff there. So I was actually wondering, when I do the cinematics, I noticed that it doesn't really get that many views when I do cinematic videos, and I'm not sure if it's the lack of skill on my part or the lack of interest, generally speaking, on cinematic videos. But you know, guys, help me out and let me know what you think. If you think that you know, if you think that it's, you know, the cinematics are not as interesting to watch, because I'll tell you what, making those cinematic videos is just a very daunting task, and it takes a lot of time. And if you guys are not interested, then, you know, then I'll stop making them. By the way, I am going to make a tutorial of Ortho4XP version 1.3. I did a few tiles last night, and it is a lot simpler than the previous versions. So I am definitely going to be doing a tutorial on Ortho4XP. I'll probably create a tile, show you guys exactly how it's done. And the nice thing about Ortho4XP version 1.3 is the ability to go into your tile and select the zoom levels in the different areas. So you can select zoom level 19, for example, around the airport vicinity and the airport itself, and then you can move out from the airport vicinity, so the area that is not immediate to the airport can choose level 18 or 17, for example, and then maybe the rest can be level 16. And you have that granularity in terms of the zoom level for the entire patch, which in my view is brilliant. It's just really brilliant to have such a feature. Overall, it took, I did a one tile, it was about 5 or 6 gigs in total, and it took approximately I think it was 4 minutes and 23 seconds, something like that, to create the tile. So, and it works, and you can preview everything, you create your own overlays, brilliant. And another tool, guys, that I highly recommend is having competition is great. It's the name of the game having competition results always in progress. And this is true for everything. So I agree with you guys there that, yeah, competition is really progress. It's what makes us all, it makes our lives better. And it gives us choice. And that's important in life. It's important to have choices, and you know, you make the choice that better fits your preference. So it's nice to have choices. Lewis, hello there. It's a lot of work, and I think nobody really cares about cinematics. Tutorials, reviews, and live flights are much more interesting. What I really like are interesting routes with different planes. Thank you very much, Lewis. I really appreciate your feedback there. I am going to create one more cinematic, and because I promised a friend of mine that I will make a cinematic of her home country. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll probably quit making cinematics. Yeah. If it's a vid for MSFS, I probably won't watch it because I don't have it. Oh, I see. To be honest, I like all of your videos. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. Jar Design 8340 is sorry, what I couldn't yeah, I think you retracted the comment. Yeah, okay. If the cinematic videos are taking away from the streaming, I would choose streaming. Your cinematic videos are beautiful. Oh, thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate it. They actually don't take from streaming, and as if you've probably noticed that I have been for some time now streaming regularly during the weekend. It's either on a Friday, Thursday. To me, Thursday is the last day of the working week. So normally Thursday evening, Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday evening are the times that I normally can stream. And the cinematics, I normally create them over a period of time. So I would come back from work, and if I'm, feeling motivated and inspired, then I would create, for example, a few minutes of the cinematic, and then a few minutes the next day, and so on and so forth, until I have about 2 minutes worth of video where I can edit. And that's the beginning of creating a cinematic, because then you have to put all that into Adobe Premiere and start editing the transitions, cutting out the parts that you don't want, and then finding music that matches the kind of sequence of the scenes, because not all the audio clips or the music clips out there will match. You need to find something with the right tempo for the speed of the actual video scenes within your cinematic. So it is a very demanding job. It is a lot of work, indeed. Maybe the best way to say it is that for some people, what you say is more important than what you show. Well, Lewis, thank you very much again. I really appreciate your feedback. This is very helpful feedback for me. All right. I think we better take a look at the external view, because this looks fantastic here. Oh, just look at that. And you know what, guys? No, it's not Microsoft Flight Simulator. It doesn't look as good as Microsoft Flight Simulator, but my God, this aircraft looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's take a look here. Quite a way to go, huh? Yeah. Can't wait for the Tolus A340, but they should make a 300 version. Well, the A300 is available by INI Builds, and the A300 by INI Builds is an absolutely marvelous aircraft. So if you're looking for the A300, I highly recommend the INI Builds A300. I definitely recommend their Beluga if you like flying that kind of plane that looks like a dolphin. And also recently the A310. So I think they've got it pretty much covered. The 200 looks so much better than the 8. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Oh, I see, Abdi. Yeah. By the way, there is another tool, guys, that I highly recommend if you were using X-Plane, which is X-Organizer. I don't think that I've ever done a video of X-Organizer, but I will tell you right now, it is one of the best tools for scenery and for organizing scenery properly in X-Plane. But it's not just about scenery. The nice thing about X-Organizer is you can open it up. It will scan everything you've got in your X-Plane folder as far as add-ons, so aircraft, plugins, scenery, and then one of the things that it does, it reorganizes everything in your scenery.ini file to make it work properly without you having to figure out, you know, what needs to go on top of what. So that's a very cool feature. And then I found it also very useful when I'm getting issues, because you can go in and disable plugins without actually having to remove them from, you know, your X-Plane plugins directory. So from that perspective, I think it is really a very, very useful tool, and I would highly recommend it. I think at some point I stopped making, you know, the videos that I used to do in the beginning, and I used to jump on every tool that's out there and make a video of it, and I think that's what really attracted a lot of people to the channel. And off late, I think I've been, you know, kind of contemplating whether I should do more of the tutorials or more of the live streams. Now, the live streaming is, by the way, I'm very new to live streaming, and I don't have any help with anything that I do on the channel, so I'm pretty much solo YouTuber, if you will. I do everything on all the graphics, all the editing, all the sound, everything you see is done by myself. And I don't get help in any way, shape, or form with the channel. It's pretty much, you know, single-handed. So I was wondering at some point whether I should go back to, you know, doing more videos and more tutorials and reviews as opposed to live streaming. But I find personally, live streaming to be a lot of fun for me and for you guys, because first of all, there's that level of interactivity. Agreed, that's why I hang here. Thank you, Captain Robbie, appreciate it. Scott, I'm most humbled, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate your kind words. Dougal, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate all your kind words. And thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm really most humbled. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So for the longest time, I used to... Speedbird, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So for the longest time, I was contemplating whether I should do more videos or live streams. And live streams are, to me, more fun. So I actually enjoy doing the live stream because, you know, I get to chat with you guys. Mohammed, thank you very much. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. X-Flight Deck. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mohammed. Really appreciate your support there and your kind words. Really appreciate it. So I thought, maybe every now and then when there is a really good tool or there is something that the community is unaware of or something that is a bit complex, something like Ortho4XP, for example, then yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do a tutorial. But I will tell you guys one thing: not all the aircraft that releases will be reviewed on the channel. First of all, let me tell you that when I review something on the channel, it means that aircraft has met the minimum requirements for me to actually even consider reviewing it. And if I don't, then it doesn't qualify. As simple as that. So there's a lot of aircraft that release for X-Plane. And there's a lot of GA aircraft that release for X-Plane. But after being in this hobby for 5 years and having built the experience as to what flight simmers want, I kind of know now what works and what doesn't. And right off the bat, I can tell you that, for example, this aircraft, the Fearless Boeing 747 Classic, is going to be a hot item on release. And a lot of people are going to buy this aircraft, not because, Q8 Pilot said, it's a good aircraft, because it is a good aircraft. It is a study level aircraft. It is, in-depth simulation of the aircraft systems. It's a beautiful classic. And for me to showcase the aircraft on the channel is, of course, for you guys to get the appreciation for it, to help you understand right before release how the aircraft is operated, and then you can, once it is released, then you can use this video maybe as a reference. But yeah, there are a lot of aircraft, and by the way, I keep watching and I purchase almost everything that comes out on the X-Plane org and test them out. And if they're worthy of a review, then I'll do the review. And I'm very honest in my reviews. And that's the reason, by the way, why I purchase all of the aircraft. Because Google says, wish I spoke that language. Matthew, thoughts on the Coronado EX G1000 C02B? Cheers. Matthew, I will tell you right off the bat that I'm not very fond of Coronado aircraft. And the reason being, aside from their stunning visuals, they pretty much all fly the same. There is really no fidelity or depth in the system simulation. So for example, you'll never burn the engine on a Coronado, no matter what you do, right? So, yeah, some of them, I think they've done a good job on some of their aircraft are actually not bad, even for X-Plane. And I believe V1 Simulations have done a video series, and he was, I believe, using the Navajo, if I'm not mistaken. And to his account, that Coronado aircraft is actually done pretty well, and the performance data is done pretty well. But normally when a Coronado aircraft, is released, I don't really get excited. Although they do say on all their aircraft that they're tested by real pilots, I just simply don't get a lot of enjoyment out of flying Coronados. But that's just me. They have improved in recent months, maybe, or the last couple of years. Maybe they've released some good aircraft, but I normally stay away, and I purchase, I purchase Coronados only because I need to test them, and when there is something worthy, then of course I'll bring it up on the channel, and I'll tell you guys I do recommend this specific Coronado, and I've done so in the past with some of their aircraft. But overall, Coronado, to me, is a no-go. Yes, they do look and sound amazing, but the flight model is lacking. Yes, Stan, the Navajo. Yeah, I thought it was the Navajo. Thanks for letting me for confirming that. Um, so the Navajo is definitely one of their best aircraft. I think there was a question. I'm not sure if I answered the question. Whether how does this compare to the PMDG 747? I think I've answered it, but if I haven't, um, the they're very two different aircraft. They belong to different eras. The systems are different. But I'll tell you, this Fearless aircraft is one that I am growing to like a lot. Just similar to the Fly Jason series. I love classics. I love things with dials, as opposed to digital gauges. So I love to see the dials. They're just really outstanding, and this aircraft is just outstanding. Just look at that. By the way, let me let's see here. Let me just show you guys. So we've got the cabin right there, fully modeled passenger cabin, by the way. And by the way, it's still in beta, guys. So yeah, so you've got your economy, you've got your business class, and you've got your first class right there. And also, we can go upstairs and take a look at the seats here. So those are also modeled. I guess this is part of first class, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it's part of first class. So again, fully modeled, not the doors, and you can't really see any lavatory or anything like that. So it's just empty there. But overall, yeah, I think the modeling is very nice. All's looking good, and taking a look here at our flight plan, as you can see, we are still quite away from, actually we're not too far from top of descent now. Alright, so before we forget, let's bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro, and let's go to the live map, flight summary. There we go. We are a little over halfway through to Palma de Mallorca. As you can see here, this is where we are, and this is our destination. And I'm just going to go all the way down here. And this is, by the way, something I love about Sim Toolkit Pro. Really, really well done application. We're going to go to the weather details, and we're going to make a note of the ILS. Arrival details, and we're going to make a note of the ILS frequency at runway 06 left, which is 110.9. We're going to set that 110.9. Right, we're going to set that here and over there, 110.9. Right, set on both sides. The approach course is 58 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and set that as well. 58. And .58. Done. Perfect. Just so that we don't forget. She is definitely a beauty, the queen of the skies. Did the 747 use INS? Yes, it did. And the INS is fully modeled on this aircraft. You can use it. So it's right there. And all you need to do is come to the iPad. And from the options, you can switch between FMC and INS. You can also use the source to be real or the SIM GPS. So I've set those both to FMC and the INS source to SIM GPS for this flight. You can manipulate the sounds as well. Nose wheel, all that good stuff, you know, you can manipulate over here. Very, very fine aircraft, and I love the way they've done the control panel. Very well thought of aircraft in all respects. Usability, user friendliness, in-depth simulation of the aircraft systems, the 3D modeling, texturing, and of course this is in early beta, so there is still quite a way to go before the aircraft is finished and released for the public. Yes, it is very cool that it's got the INS, and it's a built-in INS, so that's pretty cool. And we have a new subscriber, 12 Cut Pizza. Welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel, my friend. Glad to have you here as member of the family, a growing family, I must say, of almost now 55,000 subscribers. Excuse me. Yeah, I really never imagined having this many subs on YouTube. And by the way, guys, what I'm planning to do in the coming days is a live stream over Instagram to show you guys my settings. So I'm going to be talking about my PC, my joystick, and it's going to be live on Instagram. I thought it's the easiest way to do it. So if you haven't subscribed to my Instagram account, and by the way, there is a face reveal there for those of you who wants to know what I look like. Looks like some people are, you know, kind of want to know what I look like. So if you do, then you can definitely go to my Instagram account, Q8Captain74 on Instagram. And yeah, I normally post things about aviation. My trips to the Brooklyn Museum are posted there. I posted this morning my son is a big fan of aviation. He's an aviation enthusiast at a very young age, and he loves the flight simulation. So yeah, I've captured some footage of him without him knowing, because he doesn't let me to, flying Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I posted it on Instagram. Then he was happy that I like to share things with him and like to involve him in what I'm doing all the time. It's just part of the daddy-son bonding that I do with him. And because I do spend considerable amount of time with flight simulation, I feel it is a good opportunity for me to include him. And at some point I'm going to bring him on the stream. We're going to have a camera here, and hopefully you guys get to say hi, and he could say hi to you guys as well. But I really never thought the channel would grow this much, to approximately 55 or 54,000 subscribers. And I was happy with the first 500, and I was really proud that I got 500 subscribers to the channel. Now, one thing that probably kind of saddens me is the departure of some excellent content creators that we don't see anymore. For example, Thomas Rasmussen. Thomas Rasmussen is a gem of a person. He's a friend. He was an excellent content creator, and it's very sad
to see that he has completely abandoned the hobby. And maybe he does it on his own personal time, but you know, it's been ages since he's posted any videos or even Instagram posts or anything like that. So another one that I enjoyed watching was Castrator. Now I know Castrator still streams on Twitch every now and then, but he's completely abandoned his YouTube channel. And even he used to upload his Twitch you know, videos onto YouTube. He stopped doing that too. So Thomas, I really miss the guy. I'll be very honest with you guys. We've done a lot of collaborations together, and it was the beginning of my channel, and we were pretty much, you know, at the same level, Tom and I, and I really miss the, you know, the breath of fresh air he brought to the community. Fine gentleman, by all accounts, very kind soul, gem of a person, and I think the flight sim community misses him. And by the way, he was the master of cinematic videos. No one came close to Thomas Rasmussen. He was #1, period, hands down. No one did anything like his films. His tutorials were actually excellent too. We've done a couple of giveaways together, and we had just a blast doing those together. So yeah, I'm kind of, you know, sad to you know, see him go. Nowadays, I'll tell you guys my favorite YouTubers that I watch today. Of course, I watch V1 Simulation. I watch Flight Deck to Sim. I watch Captain Canada, Reflected Reality, although he doesn't, you know, post that many videos, but his videos are outstanding, just really outstanding. And the level of detail that he goes into is commendable. And he's a real-world pilot, of course, so he's got a lot. There is also Airline, is it Airline 320, Dougal, if you can help me with that one. Airline, just in the Airbus A320 Sim Pilot, I think. A320 Sim Pilot is that one. Is another one that I watch. I love his presentation style. You know, he's very mellow, he's very quiet. You know, he explains things thoroughly, and he's very thorough in his explanation. He simplifies things, and it's just a joy listening to him. Those are the main channels that I actually watch today. I don't really watch that many channels anymore. And let me just make sure that we are doing okay for top of descent. Yeah, all is good. Hey, Will614, hello there, my friend. Welcome, Captain Canada. Hello there, my friend. Glad that you're with us tonight. And by the way, I learned a lot from watching your videos, Captain Canada. So it goes both ways. I've learned quite a bit from you. So thank you for all the content you put out there. So I was just actually telling the folks, you know, the channels, about the channels that I watch, and of course Captain Canada needs no introduction. One of the best streamers out there, great sense of humor, and some, you know, very varied content. I like that he flies everything, and you know, he's got this, you know, the captain costume and all of that to make it even more fun. And one of the things I like it is, you know, you get to see, you know, the other side. You get to see his dog, and, you know, that's cool. That's really cool. So I really like Captain Canada's channel, Flight Deck to Sim, V1 Simulations, Reflected Reality. I like Steve-O-One Knievo as well. I like to watch his streams. I think they're great. Of course, he's a real the TBM pilot, So he does it for a living. He flies for a living, but then his channel is just outstanding, and all the editing and just really phenomenal. So I like to watch him as well. And again, he's very mellow, very cordial, and he explains things as he goes. So he does the flight, but you could actually learn a lot from him just watching him fly the TBM. So yeah, those are pretty much the channels I watched today. I agree with you fully there, Captain Canada. We are definitely blessed to have so many great, awesome people creating content on YouTube. And I want to thank you, sir, for your contributions to the flight sim community. All right, if we bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro, you can see that we are now approaching Palma de Mallorca, and it should be an interesting approach. And hopefully, just hopefully, I won't make a big mess out of the approach like I did last time. So I know some of you guys were upset about that, so I do apologize for that. And yeah, I actually received an email from someone. I do not wish to disclose the name, but it's just the email. I started reading the email, and I thought this guy actually took the time to open up his mailbox and compose a message that was, of reasonable length, to tell me that, go and take a break and don't create any content on YouTube and things like that. And, I just smiled, and I just wonder sometimes, why do people do that? There's no reason for something like that, But, I guess haters are haters, and, folks will do strange things sometimes. Does it bother me? It doesn't, but I'll tell you guys, we content creators, all of us, we're actually human beings, right? We have feelings, we have families, we have jobs, and so yeah, we get affected every now and then. I've kind of built a block around all of this, and there is a good friend of mine who is a very active member of the flight sim community, and I spoke to him at length about when I came back to YouTube after, kind of the break I had, if you will, and I told him that when I used to ignore comments, the haters' comments I used to ignore, but sometimes when I came back, I just simply couldn't, and his words to me were, you're probably not ready to come back. If you're finding yourself, getting angry and getting agitated over these comments and responding, then you're probably not ready to come back. And I advise you to stay away, or just simply ignore all comments on social media. Don't respond to anything. Just leave it. And I think, by the way, I forgot to mention one more channel that I watch. I watch Frugal Sim. Frugal is an excellent dude, and he's. I like to listen to the news that he has every week or so. So I like the news updates that he brings to the community, and I also like his presentation style. To be honest, I know a lot of you don't, but I do like his style. So I do watch his channel. I watch his news. But I think again he was also he also received comments that are kind of just not nice. I won't use another word. Just not nice comments, and the guy gets affected. I mean, he's got a lot going on in his life, and I have a lot of respect for Frugal Pete for being able to come back and turn his life around after everything that he's gone through. Another person that he was an inspiration to me when I first started creating videos. He was the to-go person for me, Matt Davis. Matt has definitely turned his life around as well, and he's made a very successful career for himself, and I wish him all the best, and I wish him very well in everything that he does. But Matt Davis was really an icon in the flight sim genre. He was one of the best content creators out there, and I learned a lot from Matt, and I will never deny the knowledge that I grasped from Matt, and he was one of the reasons I actually started on YouTube. And I really, it disheartens me to see him go. But if he's out there, and if he ever listens to this, to this video after the stream's over, I wish him all the best. I thank him for all the contributions to the flight sim community, and I learned a great deal from Matt. So, yeah. I'm glad to see him back in the UK. Frugal has definitely had a tough year, but I'll tell you, when you see this guy coming on camera and you see him, explaining things, and I just have a lot of respect for people like that are able to, just get up and put everything behind and have the commitment to themselves to begin with, rather than anyone else. Just to be committed to yourself, love yourself, and to see him go through all that he's gone through, and to come back and do YouTube again. That's to me, that's wow. That's inspiring for sure. I agree with you, Dougal. A lot of simmers owe a lot to Matt. He was definitely an icon in this hobby. One of the best guys, really. And by the way, I still refer to some of his videos. Some are outdated, but just watch his tutorials on the 777 and all that. They're just amazing. All right, folks, we are approaching top of descent. As you can see here, in approximately 48 nautical miles, we're going to begin the descent into Palma de Mallorca. Finally, we are there, and yeah, we are arriving at around dusk. There's still some light there. Let's bring up Sim Toolkit Pro, and we can zoom in a little bit. As you can see, this is the top of descent. Mark right there, marked. This is, by the way, in the latest update, version 0.75 of Sim Toolkit Pro. You get the TOC and TOD on the map, which is very useful, especially for an aircraft like this one. So we're almost there now. About 17 minutes to arrival into Palma de Mallorca, and it's been quite a stream, tell you. I think this is the longest stream that I've done. I don't normally do streams that are this long. I always pick very short, routes, about an hour, 45 minutes, half an hour, something like that of airtime. But specifically, this one is a route that was suggested by somebody on my Discord, and I believe it's Willie, but I'm not sure Will or Willie. I can't recall now. But yeah. And I am going to honor more of the flight route suggestions that you guys put. All I ask you is to give me the ICO of the departure and arrival airports, and which aircraft you want me to fly. And just be mindful that I don't have a lot of time to stream, long-haul flights. So the only thing I can do is approximately an hour of flight time. Because the preparation that precedes that, takes a little bit of time, and then of course we've got the replays and all that good stuff after landing. So it does take a little bit of time. with MSFS, some people are saying to delete the rolling cache. Yeah, if you have the rolling cache and it's causing issues, if you delete it, it will fix it. For me, I don't have it. It's turned off completely. So I haven't faced any issues with Microsoft Flight Simulator. At least until this moment, I haven't. All right, folks. We are approximately 25 nautical miles from top of descent. And let's see here. We still can... Let's bring up some lights here. And we can bring also, if we go to the flight engineer station, and we'll bring up some lights there. Background light. There, lots of lights everywhere. There we go. Just to make sure that we don't... And we can see everything clearly. God, this aircraft is really good. Really, really good. By the way, if you haven't seen this in the first stream, this actually opens. Everything looks good there on Mach. Yeah, all good. Perfect. All right. In preparation for the descent, we are going to reset the MCP altitude. And we're going to initially set it to 10,000 feet. Right, 10,000 is set. And in approximately 14 nautical miles or so, we'll begin the descent. We can actually begin the descent now. You can see here, this is the top of descent. They're about 14 nautical miles, and then we can begin the descent. All right, I think we can now start the descent. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to come over here, and we are going to select, I'll select vertical speed, and we're going to begin our descent. I'm going to reduce our speed to about 240 right there. And we're going to extend the speed brake here a little bit. Just to kind of bring it to 240. And we're going to switch this one here to go around and speed. All right. Carl, hello there, my friend. I didn't know you were on the stream. Welcome, my friend. Right, and we can reduce the speed a little further. Let's take it to about 2,500 feet per minute. It's a bit too much right there. And And we are looking okay now. By the way, do we have any panel lights here? Yeah, we do. Right, so panel lights here and here. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and rig up the checklister. And next checklist, descend and approach. We are going to turn on the seatbelt and fasten the seatbelt and non-smoking signs. Start.
Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
All right, we're going to do
Check.
the performance
Auto
calculation.
brakes.
Damn.
All right, so let's see here. Load the sheet, read from the sim, set the speeds. All right, so I think we're gonna, the runway, we can use any of the settings, looks like. So I'm gonna come here and set this to
Low.
minimum.
Radio INS switches.
Hold on.
So we're gonna skip that for now.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Spoilers.
Damn.
Altimeters.
1013. Set and cross check.
Landing data, EPR, and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. This.
All right, fuel heat now needs to go off.
Off. EPR computer. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
Perfect. Next checklist is the landing checklist, so we are good there. And everything looking good. And I also love the Oxyg 737 and the Fly JSON. Absolutely gorgeous aircraft, the Oxyg and the Fly JSON planes. Yeah, Carl, I am absolutely waiting for the Q400, and I actually learned a lot on the Q100 from the series I bought for. Let's increase this a bit here to reduce the speed. So I bought the series from Airline to Sim, and that series has been very informative, very educational in terms of operating the Majestic Dash 8. So I'm quite familiar with the aircraft operations, and I really can't wait for the Fly JSIM Dash 8 Q400 to come out and test it out. Although, is this the clock? It sure is. Ah, alright. We forgot to start it. We're approaching Palma de Mallorca. As you can see, in the view, we can see the mountains there. And there are a few restrictions there, so above 10,000, above 3,000, and the initial approach altitude is 1,700 according to the charts. Hi Q8 pilot. Sparrow is asking, what joystick do you use? I am using the Alpha Flight controls, the Honeycomb Alpha Flight controls. Tony Bomba, Palma, love the place, great restaurants there. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to go there and enjoy some of the food there. Guys, do you know what is the transition altitude at Palma? Reduce the rate of descent now a little bit. So we'll go to about 2,000. Should be fine. Look at that. This is on go around, this is on speed. All good. All right, so now we need to actually we need to be above 3,000, so we passed the restriction. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set this to our initial approach altitude or platform altitude. Looks like we're going through some clouds here. One of the things I hope Laminar Research addresses in their next gen iteration of X-Plane, because this doesn't look good at all. There we go. We're approaching 10,000. Our speed is good. All right, altitude almost 10,000. Landing lights. I'm going to just go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Runway turn off lights. And wing and logo lights. Just all the lights. There we go. All right. All right, so we are, ladies and gentlemen, 28 nautical miles from Charlie Delta Papa, which is the transition into the final approach. We need to be above 3,000. So we are at 9,400. We're looking good. We can reduce our rate of descent a little more now to maybe 1,500 feet per minute. All right, let's take a note of our speeds. So if we look here, clean, 233 knots, flaps 1 at 213, flaps 5 at 193, flaps 10 173, and flaps full at 138. All right, so we can actually reduce to 133. 1, 2, 3, 3. There we go. We are about 45 nautical miles from the airport. We're looking good. And I'm using JustSim for Palma de Mallorca scenery. And as it is always the case, if you guys want to if you want the links to the scenery, just type in exclamation DEP and exclamation ARR, and you will get the links to the scenery in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and set the transition altitude. Beg your pardon, the altimeters. So let's see here. Altimeter is no significant change. QNH 1014. 1014. 1014. All set. Right, 6,000. And I think we can now reduce our rate of descent to about 1,000 feet per minute. And you know what? I think we'll just put this at 3,000. There we go. Omega panel. Just look at that. Wow. The night lighting is stunning. Just look at that. Very nice indeed. All right, let's see here. All right, folks, I think we are going to reduce the rate of descent further. Have you tried flying these heavies in VR too? Unfortunately, I am unable to fly in VR. So no, I haven't. Are we too low? Alright, you know what?
Down to level off.
I'm going to do Alt hold. Speed is set, on throttle is set, so we're good there. And just as we pass this area, then we can begin the descent again. I'm just worried about the mountains. The airport is right over there somewhere. That's our turn.
Just absolutely brilliant aircraft. I still love the night lighting in X-Plane 11, and it's only going to improve from this point forward. All right, so what we're going to do momentarily is we're going to switch to heading mode, and we are going to continue. There's still quite a way, about 39 nautical miles. Once we pass that, then it's actually pretty short right into runway 06 left. So we will descend right after we pass on that little hill right there, and then we're going to begin the descent to 1,700 feet, which is the platform altitude or initial approach altitude. And we've got the ILS frequencies configured. Everything's looking good there. Altimeter is setting everything, and we're going to be doing flaps full today. And for flaps full, as you can see here, we're going to go for 138. 138. Okay. Just maybe a morning approach would have been nicer. I don't know. But I always appreciate a night lighting in X-Plane 11. 707 was my best bird. Yeah, the 707 was another classic. I watched Austin interview, and he was hinting clearly at that. Yeah. But in September, we will know Laminar's roadmap and pricing. Yeah, definitely. So 25 for DME, which is the ILS frequency that we have set now, which is 1.10. So we are going to go past the airport and make a turn and turn back. So if you look at SimToolkit Pro, again for visual reference, we are right here now. See, that's where we are. And the airport is right there. So we're going to go, this is the VOR station. So we are at approximately 41 DME from this station is our turn to intercept. By the way, that's the runway right there, okay? So the ILS is not too far. So here's what we're going to do now, folks. We are... Alright, let's just take a look here. We're doing great. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go to Alt Select. We are going to go to vertical speed, and we're going to descend to 1700, and at the same time we are now going to go to flaps 1, so I'm going to reduce our speed to 213 knots. $1,700, 213, and flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
We're descending slowly but surely. But we don't want to descend too fast. What happened there? Yeah, I'm just worried about this mountain here, or the hill. Yeah, I'll take it nice and slow now. All right, at this point, we are going to go to 193 flaps 5. 193. And we're going to go to flaps 5. Yeah, we're definitely too low there. Right, and flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
That's the runway right there. All right. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to note our heading. Oops. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to switch to heading mode. All right. And we are going to switch to radio. And right over there to radio as well. Now here's the runway, so we need a little bit of distance in order to make our turn, and I think we're descending just fine. And if you can see here, we've got 13 nautical miles. We should actually be above 3,000, but that's fine. That's my bad. But we're looking okay now, and there's actually an arc here. If you look at the approach plate, you'll see that there is an arc. But I think overall we're doing okay. At 1,700 feet, we should be fine. We're going to make the turn to the runway 06 left, which is that one over there. So it's not this one. This is the first one, and that's runway 06 coming from the other side. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. Belt select. Wow, we're so low. Alright, let's go ahead and do hold. Yeah, we should actually be at this waypoint at 1900. So you begin the descent somewhere about right now. Well, actually, this is a restriction, so we should not have descended beyond 3,000. I don't think the house owners will be very pleased with the 747 flying level at 1,700 feet over their roads. You're probably very right, and they'll probably file a complaint with Condor Airlines and request for a compensation, and the pilot will probably be interrogated and eventually fired. So all right, so we are going to allow the aircraft to pass the airport vicinity there. And if you look again at, so 5 nautical miles. So if you look here, this is the airport. We're going to allow the aircraft to go past that a little bit and then make the turn and come back. But in the meantime, we are going to reduce our speed to 173 and go to flaps 10. So 173.
And we're going to go to flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Right, so 173 and flaps 10. We are 3 nautical miles now. We're almost there now. One nautical mile. All right. Now we are going to fly a heading of 330. And we are going to switch to VOR lock. And now we're going to go to 058. There we go. I think we might have done that a bit early. All right. Right,
Flight
and
will live.
we are going to reduce our speed now to 153.
Flaps 20.
Flaps 20.
Gear down.
Gears going down.
Gears down. Green light.
And that's the runway right there. And we're going to go to 143.
Flaps 25. Localizer alive.
And there we go. We are intercepting the localizer, 138. I should probably take over at this point. 138, flaps 30, and yeah.
Flaps 30.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the autopilot. Not the perfect landing, it's going to be, but hopefully we'll... Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that, but
1,000.
should be able to do it.
Approaching 0.
500.
Sync rate.
We got carried away there. All right. I did not arm...
Pull up.
I don't think I've armed the...
Pull up. Pull up. Glide slope. Glide slope.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Woo! Wasted. Oh, well.
Check reverse.
688 FPM, my goodness gracious, wow.
Out, off, reverse. Auto brake off.
Well, I tell you guys, I'm not giving up.
60 knots.
I'm not giving up on this aircraft. It was definitely my bad, definitely. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed flying the aircraft. The final approach was looking very dangerous there, and we probably should have done a go around. But welcome to Palma de Mallorca, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with the ILS approach in the plane, but again, this is a beta guys. It's still in the making. So, but again, I don't think that I've done things the right way either. So we could have gone a bit farther. I think we should have gone farther from the airport, and then, you know, we make the turn, and we'll have sufficient time and distance to the airport so that we can properly align the aircraft on the ILS and do, because I've done a test flight, by the way, and I've aligned perfectly with the ILS. So what is this guy doing? Yeah, so I've done a test flight before the stream, and it aligns perfectly with the ILS, glide slope, everything just works perfectly. But you have to give it a little more time and a little more distance, which in this case, unfortunately, I did not do. And I think I probably was getting tired. But so we blame it on pilot fatigue. But yeah, I seriously don't think there is anything wrong with the ILS other than the oscillation. So the aircraft does oscillate at times. But other than that, I don't think, I think it was really my bad, not the aircraft whatsoever. This looks like a small gate for the 747, but that's fine. All right, we are going to take a look at the landing. All right, so we are back here. I'm not going to do the shutdown procedure because I'll tell you guys, we'll forgive you this time. Thank you very much, Dougal. You're very forgiving. You're a fine gentleman, sir. Thank you very much. So I get to keep my job as captain, so thank you very much for that. All right, so let's take a look, guys, at the replay. Well, let's see. Now we'll take it a bit backwards there. Right. So here is God, this aircraft is absolutely beautiful. No, we can't see anything there, can we? There. Gotta love the 747. Woo! Wow. That was a terrible landing. By the way, I've seen a real landing like that in real life in one of the footages, those plane spotters. I've seen something similar to that. So yeah, let's do that one more time. So definitely we came in too high and too fast as well. Or actually, I think our speed was a bit slow. That was a hard landing for sure. Well, folks, this is pretty much it for our flight tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and do apologize, of course, for this terrible landing. Reminds me of the living. But thank you very much, guys, for being here. It looks massive, and it is massive. Ladies and gentlemen, the fearless Boeing 747 Classic. In my view, the best 747 available today for X-Plane 11. Once again, thank you so much for your support, for being here tonight, and for all your kind words throughout. And I really appreciate it. It's time for me to say goodnight and go to bed. But before we do so, of course, that is always the case. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe, my friends. And until next time, bye-bye for now, and I'll see you all very soon.